Hello Year 2, today I'm going to be showing you how to make your own stick puppets for your Wind in the Willows puppet show. First of all, you need to go and get yourself some plain paper or card for drawing your puppets on. Then you need to find a writing pencil for drawing your puppet. Next you need to decide how you would like to colour your puppet. Will you use crayons or coloured pencils, felt tip pens or maybe paint? Once you've decided, pause the video and go and collect your equipment. You will find a link to these character pictures on the remote learning package, and you can then decide which challenge you would like to undertake. You could print out the pictures and cut them out as they are, or you might want to challenge yourself a little further by tracing over the pictures, colouring them yourself and cutting them out. Or you may choose the hardest challenge, which would be to draw your own puppet, either by copying the ones that are already there or just drawing it yourself. Now you need to decide which character you want to make. Will you choose my favourite, Ratty, who is a kind, reliable and responsible animal. He always makes sure that everyone feels included. And Mole is the animal he cares most about. Will you choose Mole, who is a very sensible animal and loves his friends? Ratty is his best friend. Or maybe you'd like to make Badger. Badger is the oldest and wisest character in the story and lives in Wildwood. He is friendly and cares about his friends, and he works the hardest to help Mr. Toad change his ways. Or maybe you would like to make Mr. Toad, who is the richest character, and he can be quite selfish, even when he's not really meaning to. He doesn't always make sensible choices, so he ends up getting himself into all sorts of trouble. You may choose to make just one character, or maybe you'd like to make all four. I'm going to demonstrate how to draw Ratty. So I've put the Ratty that I've already made on the board so I can use it to copy. And I've already penciled it lightly already, but I'm going to show you how to draw it with pen so you can see it a bit clearer. So when I draw people or animals, I always start at the top with their head. So I'm going to start with Ratty's head. Now his head is quite round. I'm going to draw his round, push a bit harder so you can see. Round his head. And he's got little ears poking out the top on each side. So I'm just going to draw little ear shapes. I'm going to go across the top of his head and then draw the other ear shape. On top of his head, he's wearing a sailor's hat because he likes to go rowing on his boat. So I'm going to draw a sailor hat, which is just a rectangle with a semicircle on top. So that's quite an easy shape to draw. On his face, he's got two eyes and his eyes are closed. So he's got little slitty eyes and a curved nose. And down from his nose, I'm going to draw a straight line going vertically, and then I'm going to draw a line going across horizontally so that I can draw his two teeth underneath that as well, poking out. If I show you on the Ratty I've already made, you can see a bit clearer his face. As he's a water rat, he also needs some whiskers, so I'm going to draw 3 whiskers, 1, 2, 3, coming out from his cheeks on either side of his face. 2, 3, that's his face. Next job is his body, so I'm working down from his face. From his face we need his neck. So I've got his neck is going to be a triangular shape because of the clothes he's wearing. And from his neck we need to draw his shoulders. So I'm going to do one shoulder going down and the sleeve of his top, and the other shoulder and his sleeve of his top on that side. From there, from his sleeve, I'm going to finish off his shirt by going down to the middle of his tummy, his waist, and across, and then up the other side so you can see his shirt shape. On the shirt that he's wearing on this puppet, you can see he's got a collar and he's wearing braces. So I'm going to draw those as well, and they're easy to draw. They're just 2 vertical lines, like really long rectangles on either side. So it's 1 line, 2, 1, 2, and his collar is just 2 triangular shapes. There we go. So there's his shirt and braces. From his sleeves, you can see his arms are coming out his sleeves. So we need to draw both sides of his arms, so 2 vertical lines, and then his paws or his fingers at the bottom. There we go. So that's the top half of his body drawn. Now we're working our way down to the bottom half, and he's wearing long trousers. So I'm going to draw 1 leg at a time. So another vertical line going down and a horizontal line across, and then up, and then we're going down the other side and across and up. I can add some detail to his trousers. I can add 2 lines either side for pockets and some buckles for his braces so they stay on. There we go, like so. I'll show you on his puppet. There you can see he's got the buckles of his braces and 2 lines there for pockets. They're details you don't need to include if you don't want to. You can choose whatever clothes you want for your puppets. The last job are his feet at the bottom. So he's not wearing shoes, so making like a boot shape really. And then these little lines are showing where his toes are. There we go. So that's the finished drawing. You'll now need to collect the equipment you need to finish making your puppet. You'll need a pair of scissors for cutting your puppet out. You'll also need to find a type of stick. I used a lollipop stick, but if you haven't got one of those, a pencil, a pen, a stick from the garden or a drinking straw will work just as well. You'll then need to find something to join your puppet to the stick. This could be PVA glue, glue from the glue stick, sellotape, blue tack, paper clips or a rubber band. Pause the video now to go and collect your equipment. The next step is to cut your puppet out. Remember, when you're using scissors, stay safe by sitting down so that you can't hurt yourself or anybody else. and Miss Greenwood's top tip for using scissors when you're cutting out is to keep your scissors quite still and pointing up to the ceiling, and move your paper or card when you need to turn it around the corner rather than your scissors. Now that you've cut your poppet out, it's time to add the stick. For my first Ratty, I used a lollipop stick, but for my new Ratty, I've decided that I'm going to use a pencil, something that we all should have at home. So your first job is to turn your puppet around, because we're going to attach and join the stick to the back of your puppet. So I'm going to turn it around so we can see the back. Then I'm going to put my stick against the back and decide how high up I want my stick. I've got to have enough stick pointing out the bottom of the puppet for me to hold, and my hands are bigger than yours, so I'm going to have my stick coming down a little bit longer. And I've decided that I'm going to use sellotape to join my pencil stick to my puppet. So I'm just going to cut a piece of sellotape with my scissors. Okay. And now I'm going to attach my stick to the back. I'm going to stick the sellotape across and then just push firmly on the back of the puppet to make sure it's stuck. And then carefully just take it off of the board. Now I've got a little bit of excess sellotape there. I could wrap it around the front of my puppet, but I don't think that I want to see the sellotape on the front of my puppet. So I'm just going to cut off those extra bits really carefully. And there you have a stick puppet. Well done for finishing your puppet. You may like to challenge yourself and make the other characters from the story now too. Can you spot the other puppet that I made? That's right, I made the rowing boat from the story, as I thought I'd like to include that in my puppet show. If you haven't made the background for your puppet show yet, please look at my other video to find out how I made it. Don't forget to take photos of the puppets you make, and if you do perform a puppet show for your friends or your family, don't forget to record it, as we would love to see it too. Bye!